check, check. We are live. All right. So I'll go back to Discord. I'll full screen this bitch. All right. All right. Let's. I'm just gonna check up on my phone, see how we're doing.
Oh, yep, there. Oh my God, dude, that one. Jesus,
Is that the
that
wrong?
picture's a lot more fucked up than the one I have. That's fucking creepy.
People are gonna come in like, what the fuck? That's funny. All right. So we're live. Welcome to the Buds and Bottles podcast, episode one. I'm your host. Well, I mean, he's your host too, but I'm your host, Jiminator. Uh, what do you want to say, man?
uh, I've never done shit like this before, so I don't really know how it's gonna turn out.
Dude, me too. I've never done this before either. I just decided, fuck it, try something new. Good
Yeah,
shit, good shit. All right, without it's already 9 o'clock, so it's time to take this Eddie. You already know.
I got my fucking drink right here.
What you drinking?
Right now I'm drinking some wine, but after I finish this cup, I got some. One of my friends gave me like this 12 pack of some random. I think it's a hard seltzer. I'm not really sure what it is,
Oh
but
shit,
she didn't want it. So.
I'm not a fan of seltzers to be honest. It's like White Claws. I tried
Yeah,
a
I don't. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I tried a mango White Claw for the first time a few weeks ago, and it's just like, nah, that's not for me, man. It's just like if I'm drinking if I'm drinking something, I have to enjoy it. I don't like to
Yeah.
just drink some shit and then feel like shit after.
Yeah, I don't really like White Claws, but I used to fuck with the Trulies a lot. 'Cause I don't. Have you ever had one of those?
Nope.
So the Trulies, they're considered hard seltzers, but they're like they have a lot more flavor, and they have a bunch of different flavor lines. Like they got sweet tea and like a lemonade line and a fruit punch line, and those ones are really good. It's basically just like a mixed drink. Um, and they One thing I like about the Trulies is they don't make you feel super bloated the way beer does. Like I still like
Yeah.
beer every now and then, but beer makes me feel super bloated after I've had like two or three, and I start burping a lot, and it's just like I don't know. I don't really like the feeling. Usually, if I have beer, I'll have like one or two, um, and
Yeah.
then I don't even fuck with liquor because liquor you'll go from sober to shit faced after like two or three shots.
True,
Like
true. But I do like some hard liquor every now and then. It's like,
every now and then. But the thing is, I have to prepare myself because it's like I know that if I like before I even get into the hard liquor, it's like, all right, I'm about to get really fucked up tonight.
I'm not a plain beer fan. I like beer. Like the only time I like a cold beer, like just beer, is like after a long day's work. It's just like you come home, you open up the fridge and there's like a ice cold Modelo just sitting there. Just like I like
Yeah.
that. But like I like beer. Okay, so this isn't for everybody, but I like beer with a little bit of clamato juice, like tomato juice, and
Oh
Mexican
yeah.
Mexican spices. It's just
Mm.
like mix that together, and it's like, oh, I love that. I'm a huge fan of those type of drinks. I know a lot of people aren't, but you know.
Yeah, I like the only two beers that I really fuck with are Dos Equis and Shiner Bock, which I don't. Assuming you've had Dos Equis before,
Oh
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But the other one,
I don't know if you. Yeah, Shiner Bock is a Texas thing. It's like made in Texas. I mean, I'm sure it's around the United States and stuff, but I'm not really surprised if it's not in Canada.
have you ever had Canadian beer?
I've heard of it from my Canadian friend Ryan.
It's
He's told me about it.
it's actually called Canadian beer. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. Um, there's like Moosehead, or I'm not sure what it's called. Something
I've
about a
heard of
moose.
Moosehead as well, I think.
I really like that one. But like
Yeah.
other than that, like when I drink beer, it's like I like Modelo, Corona, like those Mexican beers. Those are really good. Except for Tecates, those fucking suck. Like
I've never actually had one of those, but I heard those are like the like
they have huge cans of those. Like they're massive.
yeah, they got the tall boys and shit. I heard those are basically like Mexico's version of like Budweiser and Bud Light. So, and I'm not really. I mean, I
I
don't
don't like
know
Bud
if
Light.
that's the.
I
If
don't
I'm
like.
at a part, oh, I hate Bud Light. I won't drink Bud Light. That shit tastes awful.
Yeah,
But if I'm at a party and the only beer that they got is Budweiser, I'll have one.
yeah,
But I'll probably only like babysit a bottle for the entire night. I'll sip on it all night.
yeah. It's
But
it's not for everybody.
yeah,
Bud Light Lime is. I mean, it's not terrible though. Like I like some lime in my beer for sure.
yeah. Hold on, I'm gonna turn this light off because it keeps on like. I'm gonna see if just having the bathroom light on makes it better. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. Okay.
Heck yeah, get a little
But
comfortable. So
well, I'm just
base.
trying to get this glare to stop. Like this glare is really bad.
It went away. It went away. I don't think it's.
But
Yeah.
so when it comes to hard liquor, what do you usually prefer? Like if you had like anything that you could choose on a table or some shit, what would you probably grab?
Just give me 1 second. I'll show you.
Okay.
Now I know a lot of people don't like it, but I've always been a Fireball kind of guy.
Ah, fuck. I think we had this conversation.
Oh really?
Didn't I think we did. I feel like I remember talking to you
Whew.
about Fireball. Like I can't stand it because I don't like cinnamon.
Oh really?
Like yeah, when I was a little kid, my grandma used to make me eat. You know what hot tamales are?
Oh dude,
The little.
I love tamales. We have a store here in my hometown. It's called Menomex. And it's just like
Mhm.
a bunch of like Mexican foods, and there's like a family that I think it's like the cousins of the people who run it. They make like fresh tamales every single day. It's like every couple of hours, and then they bring it over, and they sell out like fucking hot cakes. You know, like those buddies
Yeah.
sell.
So hot tamales are a candy, and they're the same
What?
shape as they're the same shape as Mike and Ike's,
Okay, so
and
yeah, then we're talking about very different
yeah,
things.
yeah, it's not tamales like from Mexico. It's like it's a little Mike and Ike shaped candy. It might be from the same company or whatever that makes Mike and Ike's, but there are these little like bead type uh candies, and they're like hot cinnamon flavored. And when I was a little kid, my grandma used to give them to me and be all like, oh, have a piece of candy. And I would go to
Yeah.
eat it. And when I was a little kid, I didn't like anything spicy. I
Oh,
love
dude,
spicy foods now,
I love spicy
but
food. Can I just
yeah,
take a
I love it
second?
now.
Can I
Oh
just take
yeah,
a
go ahead.
second to thank the three people watching right now? Locksmith had commented, "What up, Jiminator? Yo, what's up, Locksmith? Locksmith is a friend of mine. He's a part of a
Hold on,
dope
Lawson.
community. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Don't want these guys to think we're just talking without reading chat. I'm reading chat.
In all honest, I'm not even gonna lie. I forgot that we were live streaming.
That's the magic. That's the magic of a podcast, you know.
But but yeah, and like it tasted like cinnamon and it was spicy, and so now I've grown up. I don't like like I'll eat cinnamon toast crunch
Yeah,
or
I love cinnamon
you
toast
know
crunch.
yeah, or like Cinnabon. I'll have like a cinnamon bun or whatever, but the smell of cinnamon, and especially if cinnamon is mixed with like spiciness, which you could argue that that's basically what Fireball is.
Huh.
It just like tasting Fireball just brings me right back to those little candies, and it's fucking gross.
Okay. Let me ask you this though. Are you a fan of sweet meat?
Uh,
Like honey garlic wings?
yeah. Usually, if I go to a wing place, or I'll usually mix it. I'll get mango habanero and teriyaki wings, and
Oh, yeah.
I'll eat a mango habanero, and then to cool my mouth off, I'll eat a teriyaki wing, and
Yeah. I'm not a super big fan of sweet meat. We have a Chinese place that I tried for the first time a couple years ago. I never grew up eating Chinese food or like any of that like other types of food, you know. It was just
yeah,
like if we went out, we got pizza or like we get a sub or like some burgers, you know. It's like
yeah,
Chinese food was never on that list, and after trying it, I mean, okay, well, let me just state this to be clear. I've only had Chinese food twice in my life. The second time was literally about 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
the first time I tried it, they gave me some like rice balls and like some sort of rib with like the sauce on it, which I made me want to throw up. The rice balls weren't good either. Like
Yeah.
it was super shitty, and I didn't enjoy it at all. But then I had like pulled pork and like five different types of meat, and like that was really good. It's just like
Yeah.
that first experience I'll never forget. Like I how much I hated it, you know.
See, that's the weird thing. That's one thing I've noticed about Chinese food places is like the only real chain that exists when it comes to Chinese food is Panda Express that I know of at least. I don't know any other like big chain Chinese food places. But like usually it's really hit or miss with Chinese food places I've noticed. It's like they're either really fucking good or they're absolute shit. Like there's no in between. And when when I used to live in Corpus, there was this Chinese food place. I think it was called like King China or Chinese King or something like that. They
We
had
had
some
one.
of the,
We had one a couple years called King Buffet.
you know what? That actually that I feel like that's a close name. That might have been the name. Maybe there are more chains out there. But this place was super good. And I mean, they were like it was a really nice establishment. They had a big building. They had a lot of seating. It was like, real nice classic art on the wall, Chinese looking, you know, flowers and the archways and all that stuff.
Yeah,
And they had some of the, to this day, that's probably the best Chinese food place that I've ever been.
shit. I mean, I forget what it was called. Yo, like, and that's some bullshit too. Like, I know we said we wouldn't get political at all, but there's just one little thing I want to say. We were at the mall. It's called White Oaks Mall in London, Ontario, and there was this fast food place. It's just like, yo, we had these food places all around, right? So I'm just like, oh, okay, you know what? I'll go with some Taco Bell because I'm craving a quesadilla right now. I haven't had one in a while, you know, a couple years.
Yeah.
I haven't. I barely ever eat Taco Bell. So for some reason that one resonated with. Oh no, I got it. I got a chicken burger from KFC because it was a KFC and a Taco Bell thing in one. So
Yeah.
I got the chicken sandwich and my drink, and I went to go sit down, and then just as I rounded the corner, just like to sit down, you know, with my buddies, and it's just like, like you have to be fully vaccinated and all this, and like me personally, I'm not vaccinated. I'm not gonna get vaccinated. It's just like that's fucking bullshit. Just let me sit down and eat my meal, you know. It's just like what the fuck.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
I
But
don't know. To me, it's all about like personal belief. Like if you want to do it, cool. If you don't,
yeah,
the biggest reason that I'm hesitant about it is because of like the just like how hardcore the push is
yeah,
from like
like it's
the
so
government
unusual.
specific. Like, yeah, I mean, people have been anti-vax for a long time, and the people that are anti-vax for shit like the measles or polio or this, that, or the other, it's like uh, that's dumb. Those have been around for like hundreds of years at this, or at least 100 years at this point, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
Um, but anyway, like, yeah, I don't want to talk about political shit.
yeah, me neither. Like political is not my forte. It's
Yeah.
just the one thing I'll say is I'm not anti-vax. If you want it, get it. If you don't, fine. That's
Yeah,
literally where
and
it
that's why I
ends.
feel like it should. Like, I never get the flu shot. And I usually get the flu about every 5 years whenever it's like manifested enough to like, I don't know, get past my antibodies, or my immune system. But when it comes to the flu, I feel like for me, that's the better thing to do because yeah, when I finally get it, it fucks me up. Like, I'm not gonna lie, when I get the flu, I get the flu. Like, I'm
Yeah,
out for like a week. But after the fact, I usually go about another 4 or 5 years before I get it again.
yeah. I've only
I
gotten
like
it.
to think that my immune system's pretty strong.
Yeah, for
And
sure. And it's just like I've only gotten the flu shot like once in my life when I was like 8, I think.
Yeah.
Never bothered with it anymore. But yeah, back to what we were talking about, the food thing. We were talking about Chinese restaurant. Yeah, like there's this place also in London, Ontario. It's called Mandarin, and basically it's this huge place. It's one big store. It's called Mandarin. It's just like it's not just Chinese food. They have literally hundreds of options. I've never been there before. My parents went, but yeah, that place sounds pretty cool because they got like all you can eat buffet, all you can drink alcohol. It's like it's just all under one bill. It's just like what?
I'm listening. I'm just
What?
gonna fill my phone.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, I think it was back in 2017, maybe 2018, somewhere around there. I went to go visit my grandmother. She was in Taiwan, and uh, I mean, over in Taiwan, the crime rate is super low. Like people just, I don't know, it's not like America or like the Western world, I guess.
Yeah,
Like people really follow the rules and shit. Like I think it has a lot to do with like, your how you're perceived socially and shit, and so people just don't want to be perceived badly. I mean, I'm sure there is crime in Taiwan. It's just not as heavy as it is in America. But I
yeah.
ended up when my grandma would go to work, I would just kind of wander around, because I didn't really have anything to do during the day besides hang out and watch TV. And I was in Taiwan, so I was like, I'm in a foreign country. I want to go check it out. So I would just walk around, and I ended up walking down this random alleyway, and there was this little hole in the wall like ramen shop.
Like glory hole or
And
something or what?
no, no, no. It was no. When I say hole in the wall, I mean like
I'm just fucking
just
with you.
this little rest. Oh yeah, but it was this little restaurant, and it was all in Mandarin. I couldn't read any of it, but there was on the front window there was this big picture of this like beef ramen bowl, and so I went in, and of course they didn't speak any English, and I don't speak Mandarin, so I just went out to the front of the restaurant and I pointed at the picture, and I was like, I want that, and they
Yeah.
were like, okay. And
Yeah.
like, so they started cooking it up or whatever. And I went outside to smoke a cigarette. And about 10 minutes later, she comes out with, oh shit. She comes out with this bowl and that has like the noodles and the vegetables and stuff and the meat. And then she gives me this plastic bag that has the broth in it. And so I took it back to the house. I opened it all up. I mixed it all together. Dude, that shit, number one, it was delicious. It was super good, but it was boiling hot. It was like lava hot. And I probably let it sit for like a good, I don't even know, like 10, 15 minutes to cool off before it was like cooled off enough to eat. And it
You
was still
see,
pretty warm then.
you see, in Canada we don't have that problem. We just put it in the snow for like 20 seconds and you're good. Like, come on.
Yeah.
No, but like,
Dude, we actually just had a freeze here in Texas. Yeah,
oh
I
really?
mean, I doubt you heard about it. Yeah, it snowed. Like, which that doesn't happen in Texas. Like, I mean, it does, but it's very rare. And funny enough, I mean, I'm sure you heard of the Great Freeze that happened back in like 2020
Um,
with everybody losing their shit in Texas because like the whole state froze over.
yeah, I can imagine it being pretty scary for them. What was it? What was it? Yesterday, I spent all day shoveling our driveway. We don't even have that long of a driveway, but I spent all day shoveling the driveway because we got like 3 to 4 feet of snow the previous night. That was fucking crazy.
See, I think we got like 3, maybe 4 inches of snow. And I think that was around mid-January, beginning of January, somewhere around there. And it was really cool when I first woke up because like I looked outside. I went to go let my dog out, and I look outside and there's just like a sheet of white all over the ground, and I was like, "Whoa, it's snow!" I was like a little kid. I was like, "Oh, holy shit, there's snow everywhere!"
Just snow angels.
And it, Yeah, it was really cool at first, but then probably about it was cool for about 2 or 3 hours, and then it was like, all right, it's fucking cold. I'm tracking snow all into my house. Like my dog is tracking snow even further into the house because he doesn't understand to wipe his paws, you know. So and he loved it though. I mean, I don't know if you've ever heard of Great Pyrenees. That's the breed that he is. But man, my camera is fucking up right now. But
It's all good. You look
he
fine.
he's uh he's a big dog and he's got a thick coat, and so he absolutely loved being out there. I mean, I would let him out and he wouldn't try to come back inside for like 4 or 5 hours at a
that
time. He would
remind
just be out there playing in the snow.
Yeah, that reminds me. Have you seen that video? It's like this viral TikTok that went around. It's just like this dog walks out of the door. It's just like snow. It does like literally jumps and does a 180 back into the house. It's just like
Yeah,
locksmith,
actually, I
locksmith,
am.
locksmith. Sorry.
Or I was just answering locksmith.
Oh, you can see the chat. Oh shit! Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I have the stream opened on YouTube.
yeah. I was wondering how that worked. So yeah, he
Yeah,
said,
I'm originally from Texas, but I'm a military brat, so I've kind of pinged all over the place. But
"Shit, there you
Texas is
go."
always going to be my home.
Um, can I ask you how old are you? I don't know if I asked you this last time, but
I'm 25.
25. There you go. Um,
Yeah.
Locksmith says good Chinese Asian food is the only reason I stay on this planet. Yo, I mean, if it's for you, it's for you. I loved it the last time I had it, but the first time I had it, I absolutely hated it.
Yeah, I like good Chinese food, but at the end of, I mean, if somebody asked me if you could only have one type of food for the rest of your life, I would definitely say Mexican food. Not even
Oh, dude,
Hispanic food in general, specifically Mexican food
no
because
doubt, no doubt.
like, and I'm probably biased because I'm from Texas, you know, and besides actually going to Mexico, Texas probably has some of the best Mexican food you can find in the
Yeah,
States.
yeah. It's like
But
when we traveled to Mexico, we went through like Iowa, Kentucky, we went through Texas, like we went through Dallas to El Paso, and then it's just like all the way to Mexico, you know? It's like
yeah,
the further south you go, it's fucking beautiful. Like the mountains and shit, like it's really gorgeous, you know? Kind of takes your breath away.
yeah,
It's just like it's like you don't even notice it. It's just like one minute you're in Dallas with these humongous skyscrapers and shit. It's just like you drive a couple hours or like a day or so. It's just like your eyes don't adjust to it right away, and you're just like seeing all this like desert and mountains and everything. It's just like this is so cool, you know. I've been to
yeah,
Mexico at least like 5 times in my life. We used to go like every 4 years. It
yeah.
was always fun. So
Yeah, I've only ever been twice in my life, and the first time I went, I was probably like 9 or 10 years old, and we just barely went right over the border, which looking back on it, it was super sketchy. Like that town or whatever that's right across the border was
oh
like
yeah,
pretty sketch. But the
I think I
second
know which
time
one
I
you're talking
went,
about.
yeah, I don't remember the name of it, but the second time I went, I had when I was in high school. I used to party a lot, and I knew this one kid, and he was like super fucking rich. And he ended up taking me and like three other people, and we went to fucking Tijuana. That shit was absolutely insane, bro. Like, we only spent 2 days there, but it was just like that entire 2 days was just us partying.
Damn,
And
sounds like the shit.
yeah, I mean, it was a lot of fun, but dude, we got back and it was just like I was so exhausted. I mean, my body was just completely drained of like any sort of energy
Yeah,
because we just went so hard while we were there.
yeah, that's crazy. And Mexico is it's a strange place. What was it? Like my dad used to kill rattlesnakes and shit there. You know, it's just like
Yeah,
I've heard some really gruesome stories about like kids, um, like about kids getting bitten with rattlesnakes, and then they're like there's a story that I don't really want to put out there like really much, so I'm just gonna give like the little details.
Yeah.
Basically, the mother was cleaning and her kid had thrown a ball outside and he was trying to get it and it went under the truck, and
Yeah.
this kid tries to get this ball under there, and it's just like he gets bitten by this rattlesnake that's just like chilling there under the tire, right? And then like the mother just walks out and finds her kid laying there just like suffocating to death. It's just like ah,
Jesus.
like it's
Yeah.
crazy.
What's funny about, well, there's nothing funny about that, but it
No,
reminds me
I know what you're
when
saying.
I was yeah, when I was a kid, I was probably like 12 or 13. I went to go visit my great grandmother in Florida, and she had like 15 acres of property, and she had built a house that was probably about maybe 2 football field lengths away from a pond. And I remember one time, my great grandfather, he had me put on, I don't know what they're called, but it's like these rubber overalls that are like really thick, and they got these big old boots. And he had me put them on, and he had me go down by the river and stomp water moccasins to death. I had an absolute blast doing it because the water moccasins, their fangs couldn't bite through the overalls that I had on,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how dangerous these snakes were. I didn't realize that, a tenth of their venom could fucking kill me. And so I'm just down there fucking stomping away, killing them. I probably killed like 10 of them. And my grandmother absolutely fucking freaks out. Like, I remember I was having so much fun doing it, and then all of a sudden I hear her scream for me to come up to the house. So I go up to the house, and then her and my great grandfather get in this like huge argument about it and shit. And looking back on it, it was like, holy shit, I can't believe I survived that, because that could have ended very bad. I mean, we're talking about water moccasins. I'm pretty sure those bitches are like the deadliest snake on earth or something.
um, the deadliest snake on Earth is the inland taipan, and that's in Australia, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Well, then the deadliest snake in America, at least. It's got to be the deadliest snake in America.
So what? Like your grandfather just like, yo, okay, put this on, and he's just like, go kill some snakes, and
Yeah.
you're
I
just like,
mean, you got to realize he's my great grandfather. He grew up, he was like born in the fucking 20s or some shit. So I'm sure, and on a farm on top of that. So I'm sure the way he was raised was like, a lot more, I guess, carefree. I'm sure
yeah,
his dad used to have him do shit like that. And he was a real rough man, he was a real roughneck. Um, and like, I remember one time, he had me, or he wanted me to go and clear one of his dog's bowls out because ants had started eating the dog food. And bro, like, I went over to this dog bowl covered in these big ass red ants. I don't know if they were fire ants, but I'm not even shitting you. They were probably like this big,
damn.
and they were fat. And I was like, I think at that point I was probably around, or the black mamba. That's what I was. Yeah, the black mamba is what
Black
I was thinking.
isn't that only in Africa though?
I think so. Yeah.
I know that. Oh no, it's not. What is it? I think it's the puff adder that has the most kills of any snake, like in of any other snake combined. Like the
Mhm.
most killed humans of like
Yeah.
any other snake combined, because like that's in India, and like India is like super populated, so it's just like what. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
like I see these videos of like fucking Australia, of these people going. It's just like oh, it's just like it's just a normal thing, right? They're just like oh, there's just a fucking taipan in my living room, and like they talk so normally. It's just like what? You're just like
Yeah.
okay, so I got this inland taipan in here. It's just like oh, I'll be right there. It's just like they fucking grab it and just release it in the wild again. It's just like what?
I think I remember a show that was it was about snake hunters specifically, but like they were all about not killing the snakes. Like but I think it was in Africa that this show went on. But yeah, like they would, like, people would call them up and be all like, "Yo, there's like a fucking whatever kind of snake in my house right now," and they would go in and get it. But So going back to this bowl, these ants were absolutely enormous, giant red ants, and they were all over. I mean, they were covering every square inch of this bowl, and I was like, I'm not touching that. Like, what the fuck? Like, that looks terrifying. I'm gonna get bit so badly. And he just comes over and he's all like, it's not even that big of a fucking deal. And he picks the bowl up and he chunks the food like into the wood line or whatever. And then he's just there hitting the bowl, like fucking smacking the bowl. And you can see the ants getting all over his hands and he's wiping them all off the bowl. And he throws the bowl on the ground and he wipes his hands off. And he's all like, if there's one thing you're not going to be in this fucking life, boy, it's a fucking pussy. You can't be scared of no fucking ants. And I was like, nah, I ain't gonna fuck with that shit.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like, literally everything in Australia is trying to kill you, so those people are so used to it already. Just like it's
Yeah,
fucking
for
weird.
real.
It's weird. All right, so next topic. Chocolate milk is the best drink on earth. I don't care.
Disagree.
I don't care what you
Definitely fucking
say.
lemonade. Lemonade all the way,
Oh,
bro.
dude, I'm not even that big of a fan of lemonade. Come on now. I mean, chocolate milk definitely not the healthiest option in the world. I mean, it's got calcium and shit, but like, bro, give me some chocolate milk. I'll fucking destroy that bottle, bro. I'll fuck that shit up. Like, no
So
shit.
by itself or like with some breakfast or something, yeah, chocolate milk's pretty good. But lemonade is like a universal drink. Like you could have lemonade with anything, you know? You could like
I wouldn't have it for
chocolate milk,
breakfast, but
you can't have chocolate milk with like I don't know, a steak dinner or something, you know? You can't have I mean, I guess you could, but
yeah,
I don't
it's
think that shit would like it's not it
it would
doesn't
it wouldn't sit well.
yeah, it's contradicting palates,
No,
you know?
apparently,
Like
like any kind of seafood, like like fish and shrimp,
mm,
it's actually poison if you mix that with like milk and shit. Like,
oh damn, I didn't know that.
apparently that's a really bad thing to add together. You know?
See, so some people think I'm weird when I say this, but personally, I love plain whole milk. Like I can just drink plain whole milk by itself and it's delicious to me.
Not the biggest fan of plain milk, but I can definitely see why. Like, if you're having some,
But I don't fuck with that 2% or that skim bullshit
oh
cuz
no,
that just tastes like watered down milk. It's gross.
so you
It's
like
got to
it?
be whole.
You gotta like 3%, like thick.
No, I like whole.
What's the
Like
difference?
I don't know. It's whole milk is 100% milk. I don't really
Oh,
know what the
okay.
difference is, but I
Oh
know that like
shit, you're bringing back like traumatic moments of my childhood, bro. Because my grandparents in Mexico, they own a farm, right? And like every morning, I would go help them milk the cows, right? And,
yeah.
and I'd be milking the cows, and then she'd be like, okay, perfect. Now we got milk for cereal. I'm like, what the fuck? Like what? And then she'd go inside, and she'd skim some of that extra, like it was still
Yeah, the
warm.
foam on top.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it would still be warm from the cow, and that shit,
Well, see,
it grossed
that's
me out.
different
It
though.
grossed me out. Like to this
So
day.
that's not whole milk though. That's raw milk. Whole milk is still pasteurized. Like there's a whole pasteurization process that milk goes through for it to get on the shelves of a grocery store or whatever. So, because I know exactly what you're talking about, because my grandma has told me stories about my great grandfather. Like, he would do shit like that. She said that he would make her and her sisters go out and milk the cows, and then they would bring it up, and it would just like sit on the fucking porch, you know, until he was ready to like use it or whatever, or bottle it or whatever he did with it. And she said he would go out there with like some sort of scoop or something and scoop off that top layer of foam. And she said that that top layer of foam would have like flies and bugs and it would be
Yeah,
all brown and shit. And it's like, I don't think I'd drink raw milk, but
yeah,
pasteurized whole milk
yeah.
is really good to me.
It was always so nasty to me because sometimes she would put it in the fridge overnight, and then like it would rebuild some of that foam. You know, it's just like
Yeah.
it's just like she would just like once I was done, And she'd say, "Okay, perfect. We got fresh milk for your cereal." I'd be looking up at her like, "What?" And she's like, "This shit's still warm, bro. No." Hey, what's up? What up? Organic reactions. Thanks for stopping by. He's the homie. But yeah,
Going on reactions.
raw milk is just, it's not for me.
She also used to tell me how when, because they had like a legit farm, you know, like they would slaughter the animals and fucking like
Oh, dude,
send them to.
I used to butcher cows all the time as a kid. Like that shit was normal to me. Like
Damn, that sounds hardcore.
like it grosses a lot of people out, but like I've had so much experience with like cutting up meat, like, and then he'd be like, "Oh, you want to take a bite of the heart?" And he'd bring it to my face. I'd be like, "No."
But no, she said that he, because he had, I don't know, some sort of machine that would like kill the cows instantly, I guess. I think it's
How?
like, so I don't know if it was this one specific. Dude, there's a gnat in my fucking house and it's annoying the shit out of me. He would, I don't know if this was the one that he had, but the only kind of thing that I've seen online that they kill cows with instantly is basically like this giant nail gun. Which, have you ever seen No Good Country for Old Men? I think
Oh
that's what the movie's
yes,
called.
yes, yes. I
You
love that
know that
movie.
thing that the guy carries around that he put, that's what,
Yeah.
yeah, that's the machine that they use to instantly kill cows with.
So they just put it up to the forehead and boom,
Yep. It
down.
just it
We did
fucking
it.
goes right through their brain.
We did it just the old-fashioned way, 22 to the head. Like,
Yeah.
like I was never allowed to watch, but like
Yeah.
my dad's done that a lot. It's just like just take the 22 right to the head and boom, the thing would still shake around a little bit and maybe put another one in its brain and then done.
Yeah.
Like
But
my parents
she
always
said that
like my whole life we've always kept pretty much everything pretty old fashioned. It's just the way I
yeah.
grew up. Like I grew up with a hammer and nail in my hands, not a
Yeah.
phone. And I'm proud of that. I grew up that way, and it kind of turned me who I am today.
See, I was born as a I mean, I'm not gonna deny it. Like, I'm a city kid. Like, I grew up.
Oh, dude.
The majority of my life was in Corpus Christi, Texas. But like, I feel like people around my. I mean, I'm sure it still happens. Like, I'm not gonna say that it never happens anymore. But I feel like my generation was one of the tail end generations before cell phones really became a big thing.
Yeah.
Like, touchscreen phones weren't a thing until what, like 2008,
Like 8. Yeah, I'd
2009.
say about. Isn't that when like the
And
very first iPhone came out? Yo, like the first iPhone I
yeah,
ever had was an iPhone 3GS. It was like
yeah,
this big and like this fat. I'd be like, what, bro?
yeah. I think the first touchscreen phone. So I got the original. I used to have the original iPod Touch.
Oh
Like, that
shit!
was the first one. That was the first where they first started doing the touchscreen shit.
Did it come with a
And when I had
stylus?
it, no, 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 it didn't have a it was basically just the first iPhone, except it couldn't make phone calls. Like, you could get apps
Oh
to make
yeah,
phone calls, um but I got the iPod Touch when it had first came out, and dude, all my friends were so jealous. I mean, I was in elementary school or middle school. I think I was in like fifth grade, and it was, in all honesty, it was the coolest thing. But it's just crazy how like quick, like, people decided they liked that, and then it just all went to that. Which I guess I'm not opposed to. Like, I couldn't really see myself using like a phone that has actual buttons and shit now. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But
My dad had a flip
um,
phone till I was like 10. So
dude, my first ever cell phone was, I don't remember what it was called, but you've seen the first Iron Man movie, right?
mhm.
So you know that scene before they, like, that scene right before they get in the convoy and the convoy gets blown up, and
Yeah.
he's talking to Jeff Bridges' character on
Jeff
that
Bridges.
phone that flips into the T. You know the phone he had that flipped into the T shape?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
That
think
was
so.
that's the first phone I ever had. And
Damn.
I remember,
Technology has come so far. Like it's
bro,
crazy.
and in my opinion, that was one of the coolest phones I ever had. That phone I don't know, it was just so unique. Like, I just thought it was one of the coolest phones ever. And then when Iron Man 1 came out in theaters and I watched that movie and I saw that me and him had the same exact phone, I lost my shit. I was like, I have Iron Man's phone, you know? And then he did that
Yo,
shit with the hologram or whatever where he did that video chat on it. And I was like,
I can't do that.
this phone this
What?
phone doesn't do that. What the fuck? I
Damn.
was like, you're full of shit, Iron Man.
Speaking of the Marvel movies, yo, like, have you seen that new Doctor Strange trailer?
I saw it on Super Bowl Sunday, but I didn't really pay attention. I had a really bad migraine on Super Bowl Sunday, so I was kind of in and out of it all day, and I had turned the game on because I mean I'm not the biggest football fan in the world, but I do enjoy football. You know, especially the Super Bowl. I enjoy like watching the Super Bowl,
Yeah,
and so I
like
just
I'm from Canada, so we just pay attention to pretty much hockey. You know, like even
yeah
me, I'm not the
yeah
biggest hockey
hockey is
fan.
like y'all's football basically,
Pretty much, yeah.
but But yeah, so I had it on, but I had it on mute because the sound, well, I didn't have it completely on mute, but I had the TV on like, I had the volume on like 10, you know, and I was just kind of laying there and I, you know, was like barely watching it. And then I would fall asleep and wake up and fall asleep and wake up. And probably around the time that the halftime show came on, I still had a headache, but it wasn't as bad. And, uh, so I was actually able to stay up to watch the halftime show, and then I continued watching the rest of the game. And I kind of watched the Doctor Strange preview. Like I know, actually, one thing I'm really excited about that shit, they're introducing the zombie verse, bro. I don't know if you've ever read the Marvel zombie comics, dude, those are definitely if they come out with the zombie universe, if they start making movies about the zombie universe, they have to make those movies R-rated because those comics are
Yes.
R-rated. Those
Yeah,
comics are hardcore.
I completely agree because like I actually wanted the new Batman movie to be rated R, like
Oh yeah, I was bummed
because
it was PG-13.
I mean, like and apparently they never even considered making it R rated. I'm like, I don't know about that trailer, dude, but that looks pretty R rated. But it's just like, what? It's not. It's just like, oh no, it's just PG-13. It's just
Well,
like,
see,
well, you
the
know,
thing is, they can get away with a lot of violence and blood and gore in, like, at least when it comes to American movies. What has a tendency to make a movie R-rated is sexual scenes and stuff,
yeah,
which
and and
we might see Catwoman and Batman making out or some shit. Maybe there'll be like a shadow love scene or some
oh, dude,
shit,
they might
but
do the OG thing. Like they might just like where he picks her up and brings her into the bedroom and the door just closes slowly.
oh
And it's
my
just like,
God.
what, bro? Bro, speaking of that, have you ever seen the movie Grumpy Old Men?
I have not seen it, but I
Dude,
think I've seen like the picture for it on Netflix or something.
it's so good. It's like a '90s movie about these two really old fucks. It's just like
Yeah,
they're always calling each other jackass, bro. I watched that movie as a kid because we used to have it on a VHS.
yeah,
It's just like that movie was the funniest shit ever because that was sort of like when I got introduced to swearing. It's just like they'd be
yeah,
it's like, what, you finally get the dog off your roof, jackass? He'd be like, piss off, pea head, or something. It's just
yeah.
like it was really PG-13, you know. And it's just like that movie's so funny. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And then the sequel came out, and it was like even better. It's just like, what?
Yeah,
And then like a couple years later, they both passed away because like they were both like in their 80s, I think, or so. It's like it's really fucking funny. If you haven't seen it, I'd highly recommend it. That's a
yeah, I'll
dope
probably
movie.
check it out now. Look, Locksmith says we had a rotary phone in our house for the longest time. Believe it or not, I think rotary phones are cool as shit. I actually had one for a while, uh, when I think I got it when I was like 15, and I had it until I was about 16. And I literally like we had a phone like we had a house line at the time, so I was able to connect it and everything.
Yeah.
What I did not expect to happen with it though was just how fucking loud and annoying it was because I didn't really take into consider. I hooked it up in my room, you know,
Yeah.
and I didn't take into consideration that when somebody called the house phone, my phone was gonna ring as well, and so I like, you know, it would my mom would get a call on the house phone or something, and all of a sudden I'd be asleep. It'd be like 8 or 9 in the morning. I'd be asleep, and it would just like it was like, oh my god, what the fuck?
Yo, like I'll be 100% honest. I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but like rotary
Rotary phone,
phone.
like,
I'm only
damn,
20.
dude. Wait, how?
I'm only 20, so like
All right, still, bro, fucking rotary phone. They're like you. I know you've seen them before. They're the ones where people like put their finger in the number and then twist it around.
oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
Oh
rotary
yeah,
phone.
bro. Yeah,
And
yeah, I remember
like
that.
when I was real young,
We
they
have
were in the
one.
house.
We have an
Do you?
antique. We have an antique of those.
Yeah. And when that's where I got mine from. I got it from an antique store. And when
Like
I was really young, we had one in the house when I lived with my grandmother.
those things are loud
And
as shit.
then yeah, bro, they are like I mean, it was violently loud. I also had I had one of those old-timey clocks that would like had the little bells and the little thing in between that would ting them because I thought that shit was cool. I literally used it one time and it woke me up that morning and I was like, never again. I'm never waking up to that fucking sound again. That was awful.
Damn, like sometimes I wish I could just go back to the 90s and relive like well,
Bro,
oh shit,
I
I
would
never
love to
even
be
lived. I never
yeah,
even
you were
lived
never
in the
even in the
90s. I
90s.
was born 2001, so
Yeah, I was born in 96, you know, so I was a 90s baby, but I
yeah.
would have loved to if it was up to me, I would have loved to have been born in like 1980 and then been
Mhm.
a teenager in the 90s, you know, gone through 10 years old to 20 years old
When
in the
everybody
90s.
was just doing acid and they had these poofy haircuts, long hair, bro. Like, bro.
Well, bro, cause in my opinion, like the 90s was well, the 80s and the 90s were probably the most expressive eras
Yeah, bro.
out there. I mean, everybody was just I mean, the 80s was just full of well,
Hippies.
I mean, if you look at TV and shit, it was just a bunch of fucking cokeheads and
Yeah.
partiers and shit. And then you got the 90s and it's darker, but it's still expressive. It was the grunge era.
Yeah, everybody was like it
The
was like a state
rise
of
of
evolution, you know? I don't know.
yeah, and you know grunge rock, well rock in general, and you know grunge rock and you know 80s the rap that started in the 80s really started taking off. You got you know things like NWA and Tupac and Biggie Smalls
Yeah.
that really took hold
Yeah, like one of my
and
favorite OG rappers is Eazy-E, Boys in the Hood.
yeah
Boys in the
yeah
Hood are always
I
hard. We might
fucking
get copyright struck if
my
I sing it.
my older brother was the one that got me into NWA when I was like 8 years old, and that was the song he showed me was "Boys in the Hood." And to this day, I don't listen to it all that often. I
Yeah,
don't
me
go out of
neither.
my way to listen to it, but if it comes on, I still know every single word. Like I can still sing that song like it ain't no problem. You
I
know what I mean?
if I would hear it right now, I think I could go 100% along with it
I
because
even
it's such a
I
recognizable song.
yeah, I even know the little beginning part, you know, like, hey, you remember that shit Easy did a while back? Motherfucker said it won't go and work. Aw, yeah, man, that was crazy shit. Hey, Easy, why don't you get off the piano for a minute, man, and bust this crazy shit? And then the beats,
Yeah.
like, bro, I know that song by heart. Like, you know what
Dude,
I mean?
that's sick. That's like honestly, and then like the beginnings of Eminem, you know, it's just like
Dude. So Eminem has like all these different eras of himself. Like he
right,
started out as Eminem, quickly turned into Slim Shady, and he was Slim Shady for a while, and Slim Shady was fucking crazy.
bro. Just like that
Like,
song we played, "Fack" a while back.
oh
Yo,
yeah,
bro.
yeah, that was prime Slim Shady era. Like he just he was just a crazy drug induced partier, you know. And
Yeah,
then you get like
I really like
he took
White
a
Trash
break.
Party too. White Trash Party is like one of my OG favorites from M.
Yeah,
Even though that was Recovery, that was like much later on. Like there was still the roots of Slim Shady still present in that album, you know.
yeah.
And then
And it kind of sucks that Slim Shady's like you can tell Slim Shady's gone now, you know.
yeah,
Um, if anything, I feel like this era of Eminem that we're in now, he's not even Eminem anymore. Marshall. Like he's Marshall Mathers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's kind of become the real him. Like, and I'm proud of how he's come along. You know, he could have ended up like, you know, like somebody like fucking Amy Winehouse
mm,
that just died from living that kind of life. You know?
yeah, yeah. It's a shame. It's just like you see these rappers die, like XX Tentacion. It's just like no, oh
I don't
no,
like that guy.
oh no,
I
that's not the point I'm trying to make. But like you see guys like
oh no, no, yeah, yeah.
you guys like Lil Peep or like Lil Peep or like
Juice World.
Juice World. Yeah, it's like they all die from shit